Hey everyone, I wanted to go ahead and introduce you to just 4 indie games that are set to release onto the Nintendo Switch very soon that I think are certainly worth paying attention to, as each one of them seems to introduce some new mechanics, some new gameplay elements, and certainly new and interesting ideas, which is what we love indies so much. Now, the first one that I want to talk about is called Neon White. This game was originally revealed, I believe, during a Nintendo Direct last year, and we have a whole heck of a lot of information to go over regardless, but I'll try to keep it as quick and concise as possible. Neon White is a lightning-fast, first-person action game about exterminating demons in heaven. You're playing as White, an assassin handpicked from hell to compete with other demon slayers for a chance to live permanently in heaven itself. And the other assassins may actually seem a little bit familiar, and that's probably because you knew them in your past life. Essentially, the game provides ideas that you are collecting soul cards to use as attacks to take down your foes, and you can choose to discard them for some unique playable and move abilities. You also are competing for best times and cleverly combining cards to discover massive new shortcuts in the entire game world. And you're also uncovering mysteries from heaven itself as you get to take down other assassins. So this is a very stylish looking game that is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch on June 16th. Now, the second game that I want to talk to, I think doesn't necessarily bear that much mentioning because it's been getting a whole heck of a lot of love, and for the right reasons. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge features groundbreaking gameplay rooted in the timeless classic brawling mechanics that we basically grew up knowing and love. You're also going to be bashing your way through gorgeous pixel art environments and slaying tons of enemies with your basic favorite turtle. You're going to have the option to choose from, of course, the 4 ones, but extra characters are also going to be unlockable as well. Each one of them are going to have their very own unique moves and tons of skills as well, which certainly makes them unique. And whenever you decide to play the game again, you can choose a different character and have a little bit of a slight different experience once again. They also recently revealed that you're going to have the option to play with 6 players locally. So not only are you going to have the typical 4-player brawler co-op experience locally, but then you could add 2 extra people as well. So this one is just going to be one of those fun games to play with friends locally. If you certainly have 5 other friends to play with, it's going to be a blast to do with when the game launches on June 16th. Now, another game that I certainly want to introduce you to is Fox and Frog Travelers, The Demons of Adashino Island. This is a 3D action-adventure game mixing some Japanese culture elements. In this one, you're going to be playing as a fox, where you're traveling around a mysterious island of Adashino with your fellow companion, who just so happens to be a frog. Upon traveling, players will encounter dark and mysterious series of elements that are inspired by Japanese culture. And just by looking at this game, you can certainly tell that there's some interesting aspects going on with it, not just visually but story-wise as well, since it's based completely and directly on Japanese folklore, which is one of those really unique things that we're starting to see more Japanese developers certainly bring to the forefront in their titles. Now, the last game that I want to introduce you guys very quick is, of course, Schim, a game about jumping into shadows from other shadows as well. This is basically a challenging live environmental experience. The game tells you that a Schim is the soul of a spirit, of an object, or a thing, or even a live being. Everything in the world has one of these Schims, and a Schim would never be separated from their very own thing or their very origin. This happens to mean that basically you're a Schim without an actual body. So what does that mean? Well, you essentially are moving through a 3D platforming environment as a specific shadow, and you are set to traverse the world from point A to point B, or maybe even to point Z, without actually touching the light. If you do, then it's pretty much game over. So it's all about keeping yourselves in the shadows, and as the game continually moves, it'll introduce new mechanics and new tactics to basically keep you away from the light. And there you have it. These are 4 indie games that are set to release onto the Nintendo Switch very soon that I certainly think are all interesting in their very own right, and are set to introduce some new mechanics and interesting ideas that are worth taking a closer look at. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.